Hit that like, comment below, subscribe if you got some time. It's your boy Casual Rail with the Silent A podcast. And for this, let's get straight into it. It's your 3-minute fight drill, your 3-minute fight breakdown. And we got the likes of Jake Paul, yes, the problem child himself, taking on Anthony AJ Joshua, the former unified heavyweight division champion from the UK. Taking this man on December 19, 2025, down in Miami, Florida. And yes, this fight, for whatever reason, is going to continue in the sport of boxing. So here we are. How do we see this fight going? We got Anthony AJ Joshua taking this one either by vicious KO or TKO stoppage, you name it, between rounds 2 through 3. And why? Because all the brother has to do is some punching. Let's get into it. You heard us right. December 19, 2025. This fight is official. It's going down. As of today, December 18, 2025, there's nothing that appears going to stop this fight. This fight is going to happen. Both men met their weight agreement, meaning primarily Anthony AJ Joshua. He weighed under the 245-pound contractual weight agreement between him and Jake Paul. He hit the scales at 243 pounds. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked lean. The muscle was there. He looked healthy, more importantly. And it is at this point, I think this has been a miscalculation for the likes of Jake Paul and MVP Promotions. See, I think they know they don't stand a chance in hell to beat the likes of Anthony AJ Joshua, but I think they were going to use the weight agreement to hopefully see Anthony AJ Joshua not meet his contractual weight agreement and, cancel this fight and, use that as propaganda and so forth. But now they see this man's made the weight, and that's a miscalculation because a guy like Anthony AJ Joshua lives in the gym. Even though he just got the call for this fight, probably about 30 days ago, a guy that lives in the gym like him, especially a heavyweight, losing 15 to 20 pounds is nothing. A guy like him who's, he has weighed this before, mind you not. It's been a minute, but he's weighed this before. But more importantly, a guy that's just got to implement some other things into motion. Eat a little bit less, continue his workouts. That's easier than a guy that hasn't been working out, period, or not prepared for a fight, trying to lose weight. All this guy had to do was cut a little bit off, continue his workouts, and now that he's met the weight, go back and, probably weigh in heavier again, about 250, 255. He don't want to be too sluggish in the ring, but for him, a true professional, a true real boxer, a real fighter, this is nothing. And it's a miscalculation by MVP Promotions and Jake Paul. I think they were purposely going to hopefully cancel this fight in the hopes that Anthony AJ Joshua didn't take this fight serious or just couldn't make the weight. But now we're here and we're going to get some real boxing and we're going to get a pure boxing lesson. All Anthony AJ Joshua has to do to win this fight, guys, there's no real technical breakdown for this one. All he has to do is some punching. Just punch and be defensively sound because you don't want to get clipped. Jake Paul weighed at 216 pounds and he does have a nice right hand himself. And you can get clipped. I mean, he stands a puncher's chance. This is the heavyweight division where one punch can change the fight, and one punch from even the sloppiest fighter can change a fight. And Anthony AJ Joshua, who has been perceived as chinny, stands as good a chance to get upset by something that he just didn't see. So with that said, the keys to victory for AJ are simple but important. Be defensively sound, keep that left hand home while you're punching. Don't admire your jab too much, and then just let that right hand go. Let that over right hand go and just punch and punch and punch and show him what real power is in the heavyweight division. And just don't get caught by nothing too clean, a Hail Mary or nothing like that, because that's all Jake Paul has in this fight. Now, with that said, I think Jake is going to come to survive rounds. I did pick rounds 2 through 3 simply because of this. Number one, Anthony AJ Joshua is an entertainer. He's going to give his fans something at least. He doesn't want this thing to end too quickly. He's got fans flying over from the UK, around the world, coming to see this fight in Miami, and guys here in the US that's traveling to Miami to see this thing. So he wants to give you a little something. Don't want to waste your time completely. But he's also going to respect the sport of boxing to show this man you don't play boxing. So between rounds 2 and 3, I expect him to finish business. On the other hand of that, point two is I expect Jake Paul to do some of the best boxing he's done in his life in terms of movement. I think he's going to stay out the way. I think he's going to try to swim without getting wet. He's going to move around that ring. He's not going to engage on purpose. He knows he cannot exchange with the likes of Anthony AJ Joshua, or he'll get seriously hurt in this fight. I think he's going to have his guard tight. I think he's going to have it high, and I think he's going to move. He's going to move, and take credit for at least surviving rounds with Anthony Joshua before taking a knee or bowing out in the corner from a couple of blows. And that's it. Guys, I can't see it no other way. I'm telling you now, Anthony AJ Joshua's got to come in here and handle business for the sport of boxing, because he's going to have guys coming up off the couch. He's going to have casuals from everywhere if Jake Paul survives this either too long or forbid wins this fight. He's going to have guys just waking up tomorrow thinking if they put in a little bit of work for 6 months or to a year, they can step in and take on true professionals. He's going to get a lot of people hurt, because that's not how it really goes. This is an art. This is a craft. You got to dedicate yourself to it. Not saying anything bad about Jake Paul, because he's at least been training for the last 3 to 4 years. But to go up against a world-class talent in the likes of Anthony AJ Joshua and win is ridiculously unfathomable. I can't imagine it. And what it would do to the sport of boxing is terrible. It will get a lot of people hurt thinking they can just hop in this game and just fight and just take on anybody, become a professional overnight without putting in the due diligence and paying your dues to the sport and coming up the right way. It's a bad thing, and we're going to get a lot of people hurt. And I think AJ understands that, and I think he's just going to handle business. I hope so. Please handle the business of boxing. We can't afford this type of slander and scandal. Can't afford to lose this fight. And I think he understands that. I think he's taking this fight just as serious as he would any other fight, just like he took Francis Ngannou. He didn't play around with Francis. They were cool, but when it went down, he let the man have it and let him know this is boxing, and he is a former unified champion who wants to get himself back into position. All you have to do is some punching. Anthony AJ Joshua will handle the business of boxing and get this thing settled. Salute to him. Salute to the UK. Salute to the real fighters out there. Salute to the real heavyweights. This is his time. Let him know. Clear this man out. I don't think he's playing, meaning Jake Paul. I think he's really serious. But with that said, I think he overstepped, and to me doesn't realize the type of position he put himself in and the type of challenge that he's put on the real fighters of boxing to clear him up out of here, and it might really get him hurt. I hope everybody success. I hope everybody health, but I do expect a nice knockout, a vicious knockout, and probably the end of Jake Paul as a fighter, not in a sad or disrespectful way, but I think he's going to feel that power. He's going to feel that umph and realize, all right, I'm done with this thing, and I'm going to stick to managing, because don't get me wrong, he's a good promoter, a good manager. Shout out to what he's been doing for the sport of boxing, getting everything on Netflix, pushing women's boxing. He is a really good promoter, and to me, good for the sport on that side of the house. But when it comes to fighting, leave that to the real fighting men like Anthony AJ Joshua, and hopefully this is the last gimmick fight we will see for a long time coming. Either way, that's our opinion on this. Just do some punching, and Anthony AJ Joshua should win this thing by via TKO, stoppage, or knockout between rounds 2 through 3. Anyways, we talked too long on this. Hit that like button. It's free. Comment below, and as always, subscribe if you got the time, man. We really appreciate that. Love until the next time. Peace.